Griggs County Commission. Stand for the pledge.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call. John is absent. Scott.
Here.
Mark is absent. Stephanie.
Here.
Stephanie's here by Zoom. Dale is present. You want to look over the agenda and
I'll make a motion to approve the agenda.
motion by Stephanie to approve the agenda as presented. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Seconded by Scott. Is there any discussion? Any discussion? Any discussion? Barring none, we'll proceed to vote. All in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. I'm going to look over the August 4th meeting minutes.
I do have one addition, one correction, Sam.
Okay.
On the motion to take the sheriff's deputy, the third deputy out, I voted nay on that.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, so.
Anybody see any other additions or corrections to the minutes?
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes with the addition or correction of I just told Sam about.
Motion by Scott to approve the minutes as amended. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Stephanie. Is there any discussion? Any discussion? Any discussion? Barring none, we'll proceed to vote. All in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. I'm gonna look over the vouchers for this period.
There
I
is
saw a couple things.
one in here. Let me find it really quick. Balco uniform code for the $1,230.92.
Yeah.
That is being taken out of COVID funds.
Okay.
That's where we had it taken out of before, but she didn't come in and ask you about that beforehand, so she just put it under that, but we can take it out of uniforms.
I think we talked about that before
The
to get Shane
New stuff.
Yep.
Yeah.
to get him new ballistic plates and stuff.
Okay.
Because that's an armor harness and
Yep.
ballistic plates and stuff. So,
Yep.
yeah. So that'll come out of a different account. Because how is this one negative 61,000?
It's just because I don't have an expense or
Oh.
budget number in there.
Okay.
It's not negative. It just doesn't have a budget.
And then we gotta fix the dirt tech
Dirt.
contract road work. That's negative. We have to
We
take money out of construction reserve,
Yep.
Okay.
so someone will need to make a motion to do that.
Your tech is Tom Dahl? No, who's that?
Braxton.
Braxton,
Yeah.
son-in-law.
Oh, someone, okay, never mind. Okay, no, it's just Tom,
Yeah.
okay, that makes sense.
So do you want me to just switch some money into this account, or do you want me to switch the account from to the reserve?
I just say switch the account number.
Switch the account number.
Take it out of the construction reserve
Reserve,
fund.
okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then another question I had, does the county agent special funds under by 1580 with the charge against only 90?
It's
980.
not. It's not negative. Like I said, it just doesn't have that budget number in there.
But shouldn't it only be negative by the 980 that the check is gonna pull and not the 1580 that it shows?
It was already negative. You guys already paid a bill to take it negative.
And it had, the return funds haven't showed up for it?
It doesn't return. Okay, so on here, this is only the expense side.
Okay.
It doesn't show any revenue that we've got.
Yeah.
It's just a running balance of what's been taken out.
Okay.
It does not come back in.
Okay, it's, the in and out doesn't
It doesn't show up.
show the in.
No, no.
Okay.
Howdy,
How are you?
Hey, Janet.
howdy.
Is this Ackerman Esterbold information, is
That's for when Wayne's up.
that isn't being submitted as a bill?
No,
Okay.
no.
Well, I'll make a motion to approve the bills.
Motion by Scott to approve the bills as presented. Is there a second?
You're muted, Stephanie. Okay.
I'll second.
Seconded by Stephanie. Is there any discussion? Any discussion? Any discussion? Barring none, we'll proceed to vote. Scott?
Yes,
Stephanie?
Aye.
Dale votes aye. Motion carries. Wayne? What have you
Yes.
for us today?
Let's see. You wanna talk about that municipal
Sure.
request? Not do you guys any more info or advice on that, or?
Other than, I think it's a bunch of crap. I think the contractor should, if they're not done within the estimate of that engineer's time, I think the contractor is at fault for it.
Well, that's how I look at it. It's, the Griggs County didn't cause the project. to-
No, it wasn't weather, it wasn't without, I mean, there was not a weather situation as far as I know.
But it seems to be how business is done in that industry.
Yeah, and I don't
Just-
understand why the state, when we've asked questions of the state previously, I don't understand why the state doesn't hold these guys to the fire to get stuff done, but I just don't understand. I mean, these contractors, they should be held to be responsible for this stuff, I think, and the state doesn't ever do it.
No,
I don't know if Jamie's read these letters, have you? Emails? The second one request where they increased it from 9,950 to 10,502. He says multiple factors attributed to the contractor's extended work on the fog seal. Fog seal operations started June 8th, and a portion of one of the 4 sites was completed due to a later start in the day. June 9th start was delayed due to a delay by another subcontractor that was to pick up the loose chips. In the curb and gutter area, the second site was partially completed this day. Insufficient equipment and equipment breakdown to complete final sweeping ahead of the fog seal contributed to low production for this day. Also, the fog seal contractor was only using 1 tanker truck to supply fog seal oil that limited the production as a round trip got to get oil is 4.5 hours. Contractor would normally use 2 tanker trucks, but a shortage of truck drivers June 10th had similar issues and slower than expected production. The second and third sites were completed this day, and weather and slow production contributed not to starting Site 4. Site 4 was planned to be finished on the 14th. However, once arriving on the site, it was determined that the wet roadway conditions from the prior day's rain would not allow fog sealing that day. Site 5 was finished on the 15th.
Had it not been for their slow work the previous days, they wouldn't have had to worry about that day with the rain. I don't know. My opinion is that we write them a letter and say that at least make a cause for the Griggs County. I mean, I don't know what you guys want to do, but I don't think it's our fault.
No, it doesn't.
They want us to pay them more because it took them longer to do their job?
So the engineers do, because the engineers had to be on site. The engineers want to be paid, which it's not the engineer's fault, it's the contractor's fault, but I don't know why we should have to pay for it. We can certainly write a letter to Ackerman and see what they respond with.
Didn't last time you hear made a comment that looking at the contracts from the state that we might be stuck with it? You would think we make a comment
Well,
about that?
I'd say that's a little bit different with that
Okay.
information. I mean, it's not Griggs County's fault.
No, I understand. I'm just saying what,
It's it's their fault. It's the contractor's fault. We can try. I mean, it doesn't hurt to try.
Yeah,
Can I get a copy of all those emails?
You bet.
it just feels like the citizens of Griggs County are being held liable for additional costs
Right.
that were not our responsibility. It was, the contractors didn't
Responsibility of the
perform,
contractor.
didn't perform.
Right.
Then there was tests that failed of the emulsion,
And there's
which was $175 test and whatever, but,
okay.
but then.
There were deductions from what they got though, because that oil wasn't
Yeah.
any good, right?
Right, there's a deduction from
Okay.
The state is not
so much per gallon.
very helpful in these,
No, they're not, because they just bend over and they say, whatever, we'll pay it.
our township just had a haul road agreement and the state's supposed to do the pre-inspection, post-inspection, and then tell the contractor what is needed to bring the road back into pre-haul condition. Well, they didn't do post-inspection. And then the culvert caved in. Well, that could have been from some other work. You just drove 3,000 trucks over it, and it might have been somebody else.
Yeah, I mean, that's the
It's,
state. We've had that other problem though with those liquidated damages.
you know,
In one of those first contracts that we had, they didn't want to enforce liquidated damages. And I just don't understand that. It's taxpayer dollars. So I have no problem. I think write a letter to them and I think those emails show that it's not our fault.
Right.
And see what they have to say.
I'm in agreement with that.
Okay, I'll get in contact with Ackerman.
Paul, what would you guys do when something like this happens? You guys?
Well, it depends on how much we had in it to begin with. I mean, you give an estimate of what the hours it's gonna take to do the inspection. If the
Okay.
contractor takes longer, if it takes us longer, then we request an amendment similar to what they would do, I suppose. But usually I try to I give you a pretty good ballpark of what it's gonna be at the beginning, so it covers it, but that doesn't always cover it all. But like in this one, I don't know, you know, the contractor, their only penalty is if they don't meet the completion date, which was, I think, I don't know if that's even up yet.
No, I don't know if it is.
So really, they haven't done anything to breach their contract with the county either. So, I don't know.
Oh, well, I mean, I think it's worth at least sitting down and talking with them.
It seems like an excessive amount of money to expend for couple days extra.
Yeah, I don't know the amounts, I haven't seen any
Yeah.
paperwork, but it's, you know, you figure so many days for the seal, so many days for the fog seal, and you wanna be there for that work to
Yeah.
ensure the quality.
Well, that's why you're there.
Right.
That's,
And they're a couple hours further from you guys for each trip than
Yeah.
we were too, so that adds up pretty quick. I guess the only suggestion I would have is to verify how much it cost them extra, look at what they just put in the original hours, and then subtract off if there was anything that wasn't done or that took less time, to offset part of that.
Okay.
Maybe they've already done that in their justification to the state, but that's what they usually look at on ours.
Okay, I'll get in touch with this Timothy Aarons and see. We'll get a dialogue back and forth. Or if I could get a copy of those emails, that'd be perfect.
'cause I'd like to see this settled up our next meeting, so
Yeah.
either we write them a check or not, so.
Okay.
And it's within your federal aid amount, right, too, so it's
Yeah.
not shared.
Yeah.
Yep.
So it doesn't cost the county a whole bunch of money out of pocket, but still, it's,
Well,
a dollar is a dollar.
right, and that federal aid is yours too.
Yeah.
You don't lose that. So
Right.
Since this isn't a part of your federal aid allocation.
Our job is
Yeah,
to
it
safeguard,
is still dollars that you can use for other stuff.
our job is to safeguard every dollar that's given to us, so,
Right, yeah, because you could use those dollars on another federal project.
right.
You don't lose them.
And then I was tasked to do an RBFP for the Decker Bridge, we'll call it, which I did. I sent it in to Brian Fuchs, North Dakota Department of Transportation. He approved my request, and it will be posted on their website, I think this next week. And then he also asked, or is requesting from federal highway funds to pay for the preliminary engineering at that time too, so, or he'd already put the request in.
So the RFP is for the preliminary engineering?
Yep. So they will pay for the preliminary engineering, well, they pay for everything.
Yeah,
But he said in order to have the money available when we do the bid opening, which it's gonna be advertised in the paper 4 weeks.
oh,
And September 19th will be the day that they have to be into Samantha proposals, so then we will review them, take the top 3 to be determined, and then have interviews after that. Also, this next week, well, the FEMA disaster has been moving along, and I've been working some with Annie and Ewald and Jamie, and we're gonna have it's gonna be a scoping meeting for the townships and us that have applied for disaster on Wednesday, August 24th at 10 o'clock in the morning. And it's gonna be in this room, so I think she sent out emails to
I think
townships.
she called them all yesterday.
Called them
Yeah.
all.
Yep.
Did mine, yeah, I got full message in my phone.
So that's coming due. I mean, there's a lot of work to that.
yeah.
Yeah, there's 4 or 5 townships that had damage from the flooding, so they're gonna be here for the meeting on Wednesday.
Other than that, anything else I forgot? We've been graveling. We did all our FEMA sites except for one. That's that old homemade bridge box culvert up on, and I'm trying to see if we can mitigate a steel culvert in place of that. It's 22 feet wide. It's not very safe. So we're gonna talk about that on Wednesday also. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff that they're gonna talk about, and I wanted to get more ears in their people that are dealing with it, so that they realize they have to get their pictures in and their maps in and their sites accurate, so.
Have we laid the pipe in County Road 8 up there yet?
We haven't. I went up there, it's probably 3 weeks ago now, and the water was only 12 inches from the top of the
Oh, it's still coming.
48-inch pipe, so it had come way up. Well, then, Tom Dahl did some checking on it, and they'd opened some other lake or slough up in Nelson County to run into there. So now it's slowed down a lot. I drove on Highway 45 last Saturday, and I that Erickson farm there on 45. Didn't look like it was running as fast as it was before. So they might have either shut it down some, or we can't replace it when there's water running in that fast.
No.
Could ever dike it off long enough to do it. So. And then at the same time, we want to hopefully get that done and then pave those 2 culverts we did on
Yeah, there's
19 there.
hot mix plant gonna set up
Back.
west of me again this fall.
Yeah.
Another 60-some thousand tons.
And we fixed the lines in Binford. The yellow lines and the white
Oh,
lines. we
yeah.
covered them up. So. Should be good.
All right. Well, thank you, Wayne.
Paul, did you have?
Just an update on Prairie Dog. Looks like it's still gonna fill, hopefully by the end of the year here, but it might be into the first quarter of 2023, but you should have it for next construction season. Griggs County's allocation for that will be $819,200, I believe, and it's still looking good. They're about 64% filled, and only half the time's gone through the end of July, so should easily fill by the end of the biennium.
So the township money doesn't come in until,
That's including that last bucket there, the one with the 2 above it. And I don't remember what the township allocation is. It's not a huge dollar amount, but it's,
it says there's township money in 1 and 2, but
yeah, but I don't think they distribute anything till both fill.
great. But that's strategic investment, does that have to be filled too first?
The one that's partially filled has to fill before the counties and townships see anything. It's at about we're 180 million filled out of 400. And last month they made 92, I believe. So we got 220 left to fill. So
2.5 months for that, and another 3 months, so 5 months. Both those other buckets should be full.
we're close. So that's what we're hoping anyway. And then you can use that for basically whatever you want. You just have to report on, not for whatever you want, but you have to report on what you spent funds on for the next legislative session, I believe.
Is there any time limit on this though?
I think it is supposed to be used within the biennium, from 2023 to 2025. but, they can extend it.
Okay.
But I don't think you'll have any trouble spending that, especially because you can use it to match federal aid, and you've got federal aid coming in too. And then related to that, the federal aid meeting with DFE was scheduled, I think, 3:15, I think. 3:15 on October 3rd in Bismarck. So if you guys are going to the North Dakota Association of Counties conference, it's gonna be at that, held there in person again. And then I just had another sheet here, just had a list of the potential projects, and this is the Decker Bridge there, and just highlighted that that's now eligible for 100% funds. I think you guys have talked about that at the commission level already, and then there's just a few other projects that you guys have looked at. No change from the last time I brought those, other than that seal coat is done on County 2 out Red Willow now. Although that probably will still need some work in the future. Yeah. Yeah, chip seal isn't gonna fix that forever.
That's a pretty tough place to keep a road.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You got any questions otherwise for me?
Excuse me.
You guys have any other questions for?
I guess I don't. No.
Okay. Sounds good. Well, I'm glad to hear you guys are getting that RFP out, and we'll definitely respond.
Oh, good. All right, thank you, Wayne. Thanks, Paul.
Yeah, thank you guys.
Yes, next we got the road mileage certification. Is this something that you put together, Wayne?
I did.
Or you did?
Yep. So a few years ago, I did send these sheets out to all the townships and asked for them back. Nothing's changed, so I just used the same numbers as last year.
Okay.
I just need Dale's signature on that, so.
Okay.
Thank you.
Games a chance permit.
You have two of them, one for the Titan Elementary Football and one for the Mabel Lutheran Church. Kind of the same ones that we get every year.
Well, make a motion to approve the full permits of the Titan Elementary and also the Maple Church.
Motion by Scott to approve game of chance permits for Titan Elementary football for drawing and Mabel Lutheran Church. Is there a second? Second by Stephanie. Is there any discussion? Any discussion? Any discussion? Barring none, we'll proceed to vote. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Old courthouse, new courthouse.
Nothing.
Nothing?
Right. Oh boy.
Future business. We got, we pushed the,
Ackerman and state auditor stuff, I suppose.
yeah,
To see about that stuff.
Have we heard anything from the state auditor? Did they finish their audit or what are they?
They're waiting on us to adopt the rules. Or adopt the accounting practices to finish our audit, I think.
I thought we had voted that we weren't going to.
And they still have been trying to convince us to do it, I think.
I have to work harder.
Are we still advertising for tax director?
Just not in the paper, but it is on our website, and as far as I know, it's still on that other website that we put it on. I've never taken it off of it.
And Facebook?
It's on Facebook. I did boost it a while back, but yeah, I think the last time I just looked, it was still on there.
It only stays on for so many days and you have to renew it.
Okay.
So,
Do you want me to boost it?
did you get any inquiries at all from the boost?
No.
And the online Facebook?
So the rate for the state auditor, they want us to do what now?
The
Approve?
state auditor's office would like you to respond or comment on their findings. And
Well, let's put that on the agenda for next.
okay.
We still never approved the bill for Harold, have we yet?
No. And I can't get a hold of Harold again,
Okay.
so.
And yeah, well, we'll go there. And also we have, the state has, we haven't paid anything in the state at all
We paid them $4,000.
so far.
And that was for the balance sheet. That wasn't for
The actual audit.
the audit.
And that's gonna be like 28 grand
I
total.
heard 28.
Ugh.
I don't know if that's 28
Minus
minus
that,
the 4. I don't know how this all works.
Great.
Because they're pushing for us to have the building authority as a subunit and
I think we should invite them to show up. I mean,
I invited them.
Why can't one of them zoom into the meeting?
They will not talk about the audit in a public setting.
That's right, I saw that in their thing.
Well, that's ridiculous
I know.
because it's public money.
It is.
It's a,
Yep, they will not. They will talk to one of you or two of you.
will you
but-
forward me that email? I'll respond to that too.
Yeah, no, they will not talk in a public forum. And I said, we've always had our other audits discussed in a public forum. That's the only way that, you know.
it's the only way business is done by.
Yeah,
is
and
audit,
they
is in
said
the way it should
we
be done.
never have done that and we will not do that.
I saw that same thing.
I saw that email, but will you
Yeah.
forward it to me? Because I
Yeah.
want to respond to that too because that's wrong. I mean, we're supposed to be as transparent as possible, and how are we supposed to be transparent if our auditors won't discuss our audit in a meeting?
Well-
And if the building authority is a subunit of Griggs County, so is John Deere Credit Corporation, so. Because it's the same sort of lease.
Right.
We have no equity in either one of those leases until the end time.
Right.
And we have no additional liability other than the lease payment that's due that year. We could say we're not paying the building authority and walk away and the building belongs to the building authority. Same with the motor graders, we can say we're leaving it early and I disagree with their findings.
They said that they can take it off, but you won't like what happens if they take it off.
Well, I'd like to find their legal authority for doing
That's
that.
what they said, is because then they would have to redo their findings and you wouldn't like that.
Well, let's just put it on
And
the
they
agenda.
really hope that
It's
they
not in
don't
the-
have to do
It's
that.
not on the agenda right now, so let's put it on the agenda for next meeting.
No.
Get some moisture.
Is it raining?
Must be.
Sounds like it.
Oh, cool. What about for help and stuff now? I heard Jessica's leaving, I understand, correct? So what's gonna happen in those situations? And of course, Maddie she'd be, what, December, I understand?
Mhm.
Yeah, so she'll go on maternity leave after that, correct?
Correct.
So do we have help to cover all that that's coming up, you know?
They are advertising.
Okay, I saw that, yeah.
Yep, they are advertising, so then hopefully they'll get somebody and
Okay.
We're,
get them
we're
trained.
talking about non-agenda items, we probably should limit.
No, I mean,
to what
I'm
we-
not talking about for next, I'm talking about for next meeting, put this
Yeah.
up. I'm talking, for next time, that's what I'm talking about,
Okay, so you want me to put that on?
yeah. Discuss the help for next,
Office help?
There's nothing we can do about it. They hire somebody or they don't.
well, I know, just something to be aware of, so.
Yeah. The party policy, wasn't that something
I know.
we pushed off?
Yep.
Let's address that.
Okay. Okay,
That should be enough for the next time.
I like it.
Anybody have anything else for the good of the order?
Nope. Make motion to adjourn.
Motion by Scott to adjourn. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Second by Stephanie. Is there any discussion? Any discussion? Any discussion? Barring none, we'll proceed to vote. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Bye.
Motion carries. Meeting is adjourned at 3:06 p.m. Next meeting is September 8th in this room.